We wanted our home to be bright, spacious, and as fluid as possible. A testing ground where I could experiment not only with the furniture I designed, but also with food and music. I think my favorite part of this house is how it feels like the atmosphere. The light, the space. We were inspired by Japanese architecture. Typically, in Japan, furniture is placed close to the floor. That's why we placed almost all the pieces lower than usual. It makes the high ceilings feel even higher. I am an architect and furniture designer and the founder of Guillermo Trapiello Studio in Madrid. I co-designed this apartment with my good friend Ana Cubas, and I live here with my wife Elvira. The apartment is located in downtown Madrid. It is in a vibrant part of the city, close to a park and the Manzanares River. Our home is located on the top floor of a social housing building built in 1935. I am deeply interested in everyday objects and furniture, how their shapes, functions, and material make us feel. This apartment is a space full of raw samples and prototypes. This helps me think and inspires me. Both Elvira and I are also very fond of cooking and enjoy experimenting together in our free time. We also love music, and I myself play the bass guitar. When we first saw the apartment, it had been abandoned for almost 10 years. Most of the windows were broken and a flock of pigeons had made it their home. The house was completely divided into small rooms. There was a small entrance room that led to a narrow hallway, leading to a kitchen, bathroom, and a strange living room. We removed most of the walls in the apartment. The kitchen was moved to a large space in the front of the apartment. The ochre hallway was converted into a laundry room. The living room, office, and bedroom is now a large space connected to a small balcony. This created better flow around the apartment.
Hey, meet the Zenscreen people, the ones who work anywhere, create everywhere, and still find time to unwind. In fast-paced, collaborative workspaces, Zenscreen adapts in seconds, helping teams plan, create, and share ideas with ease. In smaller spaces where versatility is key, Zenscreen Smart keeps you connected and productive without taking up extra room. And when it's time to unwind, Zenscreen Smart lets you easily shift from focus to fun. And when your workspace isn't in an office, dual screen flexibility lets you review, refine, and create, all on the go. With Zenscreen, you can stay productive while helping with schoolwork side by side. Need more screen space? Zenscreen's powerful dual screen setup keeps you working efficiently, and its lightweight, portable design makes setup effortless wherever you need it. When your workspace is temporary, you need a screen that moves with you. Zenscreen is light, easy to connect, and flexible for quick setup, turning any space into a workspace. Whether you're home, in the office, or on the go, ASUS Zenscreen gives you the flexibility to work when you need to and relax when you want to. ASUS Zenscreen Series. Flex your workspace.
So the front door opens directly into the kitchen, so there isn't really a formal entrance. I added a piece of fabric as a countertop on top of the radiator to use an additional storage. After removing the false ceiling, we left the original wooden beams visible so the space feels open and airy. The kitchen structure is actually from IKEA, but with custom doors and countertops from my friends at Cubro. I like using IKEA as a base because it is a cheap way to get a fully custom kitchen. I like to think about my kitchen as it was like my workshop, where the tools and the spices and the food is visible. That's how I get my ideas to make it more fluid. Instead of using the typical refrigerator magnets, we made a collection of objects. By sticking magnets on the back of the objects, we transform them into meaningful souvenirs. We chose a pale green color because I didn't want it to be too vibrant, but still create a contrast with the white walls. The dining table and its chairs are pieces that I designed and built specifically for this space. I made it out of all extra materials from another client project. Due to my work, there are often a lot of spare materials and leftovers, and I try to use them as much as possible. In the kitchen, the lights are either on the wall or low pendant. The living room is at the end of the hallway. It is a calm, relaxing space that helps us unwind. We particularly chose low furniture to make the space feel larger. It is filled with objects that I have designed and built. Many of them are just prototypes that aren't entirely finished, and lacquered or incomplete. I also like to surround myself with many other objects, the stories behind them, where they're from, and what they represent. For example, the collector's table. This piece I made to display collections. In my case, I've always been interested in the world of fishing and have always been fascinated by fishing lures, and this is my collection. I designed the sofa using scrap wood. By removing the back cushions, it can be used as a guest bed. The centerpiece of the living room has to be the bookshelf. We wanted to integrate the bookshelf and blend it into the wall. My obsession with lighting continues into the living room. Some of these lamps I have also designed myself. The sunset lamp is a design I made with Inés de Acera. We bent the material so it feels like it melted because of the heat of the bulb. It's hot as the sun. We wanted to recreate the atmosphere of the sunset using gradients of reds and yellows. So the living room is constantly evolving. We are trying new things every day. And one thing we discovered recently is that we could use the beams to hang our laundry or the bed sheets. The floor of this house is a composite of cement, resin and albero sand. Albero sand is a kind of sand you can find here in Spain. You can see it typically in bullfight pits. I like the idea that my furniture is like toys scattered in a sandpit. The shape of the floor plan is a little bit weird, and what we did is to put like an island in the center of the room with the bed and also the desk. During the day we use the desk for work, and at night it turns into our bedside table. The desk is a Frankenstein of a lot of leftovers I have in the workshop. The wardrobe is from IKEA. It's just a standard wardrobe, but what we did was we rotated so it accommodates into the corner, and it's white so it's super neutral. The bedroom has probably the most beautiful light in the house. In the afternoon, the acacia trees next to the windows create interesting shadows onto the walls. When we remove all the ceilings, there was like an extra space we could use for storage. It's where we store our seasonal clothes and more of my designs. We have this ladder we can use everywhere, and after that we just lean it in the wall. Our TV is on a small rolling stand of old IKEA pieces, which makes it easier to move it around the apartment. We often have it in the corner of the bedroom to watch from bed, but we roll it in the living room when we want to have dinner or have a movie night. The bathroom is in the center of the house. We continue the albero sand over the walls, so it feels like a cave. We try to use a few elements as possible to reduce visual noise. A single large mirror makes the space feel more spacious. For the soap holder, I found a scrap of peace marble and fixed it into the wall. I like the contrast of the oddly shaped marble with the straight lines of the bathroom. In the corner of the bathroom we have two little wardrobes, and what I did was to customize the storage with a marble I found in the streets. I also designed the temple lamp prototype here in this space. The light is much more comfortable and cozy. The bathroom has no windows. In order to brighten it up, we added circular windows to either ends to pass the light from the kitchen and living room. As a result, the bathroom doesn't feel dark, and we often use it without turning on the lights during the day. Across the hallway from the bathroom is our laundry and tool storage. It is so nice to have a dedicated space inside our home for the washing machine and cleaning supplies. It was designed as a closed space, but once we use it, we realized that it was much more efficient to leave it open. The small balcony is a great place to have breakfast or have aperitivos when the weather is nice. I've always been fascinated by boat designs where every last space is optimized and ergonomic. I like to find specific solutions to specific problems. I like to operate in a manner contrary to standardization. I really hate the standard. Just like in nature, some of the values I try to pursue are diversity, adaptation, balance, functionality, versatility, and above all, I will try to provoke emotion and wonder.
Thanks for watching. If you're an architect or designer with a project we could feature, please share it with us at nevertoosmall.com/submissions.